It said 7 minutes before when.
I know it always says that.
And then all of a sudden it came on.
When the blue thing comes on. In July. You're live on YouTube.
Hello, YouTube viewers. Just waiting for Facebook to go live as well. Hello, Facebook. There we are. Okay, so for today's arts and crafts session, we are going to make some plant pots, all right? We're going to make them out of recycled objects. So what you are going to need for today's session, you are going to need your recycling bag with all your bits and bobs in it. You are going to need some coloured tissue paper or newspaper, and you're going to need some water, some PVA glue, and a paintbrush. Find a reasonably thick paintbrush. If you've got one of those thin ones, it takes forever. Okay, so if you've been watching our craft programs right the way back to the beginning, we did a little kind of craft science lesson about the properties of materials. So we're going to revisit that again today because we're going to look for what properties we need out of the material that we use to make our plant pot. Okay, so I have got some things here out of my recycling bin. Okay, so I've got my tin of custard, got an empty peanut butter jar, smoothie bottle. This had yogurt in it. This one I've given it a clean out. I've got a little foil tub here. And I've also got a toilet roll tube. And do you remember when we made our elephants? I asked you to keep the bottom of your milk carton when we cut them off. I've got the bottom of my milk carton here as well. Okay, so I can use more than one of these to make my plant pot, all right? We're just going to talk about the properties of some materials so you can have a look through your recycling bin and find the best material to use, okay? So, going to grab 3 materials, okay? So I've got my peanut butter jar, I have got my smoothie bottle, and I've got my yogurt pot, okay? So there's one word I can use to describe the property of these 3 things, okay? So they've got something in common, and that something is I can see right through them. They're clear, it allows loads of light to pass all the way through, and if I hold them up in front of my face, I can still see the camera and the screen and all you guys. So let's see if you can remember what the word is that we use to describe materials that let loads of light through and you can see clearly through them to the other side. Can you remember? It begins with a T.
Translucent.
Nearly. Oh, nearly, miss.
Transparent.
Transparent. Well done. They are transparent. Now, does a plant pot need to be transparent? Do you need to be able to see through a plant pot to see what's going on? No, not really. All right, so transparent is a good property of a material, but plant pots don't need to be transparent, okay? So, Miss Shipley just mentioned another word then. She said they use the word translucent, which is a great science word to use. So, we know these are transparent. Can you tell me, out of my milk bottle bottom and my custard tin, which one of these is translucent and why? Do you know? It's the milk bottle bottom. All right, so translucent materials allow sunlight to pass through, but if I held up this in front of my face, I can see colours, I can see the red line on the TV screen, I can see the black of the camera, but I can't see them clearly. So this is translucent. It allows sunlight to pass through so you can see a little bit through the other side, but not clear like our transparent materials. What do we call objects that don't allow any light to pass through? That you can't see through the other side. So if I put this in front of my face, all I can see is the custard tin. Blocks everything out. Begins with an O.
Ooh. I don't know the word.
Opaque. They are opaque, all right? So objects that don't allow any light through all right, and you can't see through the other side if you hold them in front of your eyes, they are opaque, okay? Does it matter if a plant pot is transparent, translucent, or opaque? No, okay, it really doesn't, okay? That's not a property of a plant pot that we need to worry about. You can use any of those three things, all right? But there are some things that we do need to think about with our plant pot, all right? So, one of the things that we can't use is anything that is absorbent. So this cardboard tube is absorbent, all right? So what happens to this cardboard tube if I poured water into it?
It would go soggy.
It would go soggy. Well done, Miss Shipley. It would soak up all the water, it would absorb all the water, and the cardboard would go soggy, and it's not a good material to use for a plant pot because then all the soil and your seeds would all splosh out all over your windowsill and it wouldn't contain everything inside. So I'm going to get rid of that one. Hello, Faye.
Hello, Faye.
So, absorbent things ain't going to work, all right? What about things that melt? We talked about chocolate teapot, didn't we, in that first session, when we decided that things that melt, okay, weren't good to make cups of tea in because if you poured the hot water into them, then they would just splosh out again all over your kitchen surface. So things that melt, things that are going to change their shape if they get hot, they aren't going to work either. We're not going to pour hot water into these, but if they're on a sunny windowsill and they're a soft material that will melt when it gets hot, not a good idea to use, so get rid of those as well. So I'm going to get rid of this one. And then this is what I have my cat food in. Again, I've given it a little wash. All right, now this one, let's talk about the properties of this material as well. We've got opaque, we've got translucent, we've got transparent. This has another property when you shine light on it. So if I shine light on this, the light will actually bounce back and sparkle, okay? What do we call materials where if you shine light on them, it bounces off and travels back into our eyes? It makes you go like that.
Bless me. I know.
Begins with a R.
I know what it is.
Miss Shipley knows. Do you know? Write it in the box down there. Ask a grown-up too. It's reflective, okay? So this material is reflective. Not a problem for putting plants in. Reflective materials are fine. However, this little box is a little bit too shallow, okay? I want my object to have tall sides because I'm going to put something inside it before I plant my seed, okay? We're going to talk about that on Thursday, yeah? So I need something that's a little bit taller. So any of these things will do. I'm going to use the bottom of my milk carton because I've been saving that specially since last week just to make my plant pot with, but any of these will do, okay? And we'll get these away out of the way. Okay, so again, this is a little recap. I'm going to decorate my plant, but if you can't be bothered decorating it, don't worry. If you just want to use something to grow plants in, this will be fine as it is. Okay, it's a little bit squidgy, it can move, but that's okay because it's still quite strong. Even though it's flexible, which means it moves, it's strong, it's still going to hold its shape. I can't pull it apart. I'm going to decorate it just because it's Superhero Week. I'm going to decorate it in some superhero colours. So we're just going to go over again how to decorate your object. Now there are two ways you can do this. You can do it, if you go back to how when we made our paper mache masks, you can do it in newspaper. Then you can use your paint when it's dry and you can decorate it, paint it any colour you like. You can put a Superman logo, Batman logo, anything at all that you want. I'm going to use tissue paper today. So both versions, whether you're using tissue paper or newspaper. You need a little bit of water and a little bit of PVA glue, half and half. So equal quantities of glue and water. Ask a grown-up to help you measure that out so you get the right consistency. So when I mix it up, instead of being thick and gloopy, My glue is going to be quite runny, like milk. And just like that. Now I think I put a little bit of too much water in mine. So I'm just going to put a little bit more glue in, just so it all doesn't slide off. PVA glue will also give it an extra layer of strength, because when it dries, it's going to dry hard. So it'll make my milk carton a little bit stronger. Okay, so there we go, right consistency now. So my glue and my water is quite runny. All right, need it to be runny because we're going to splosh it on. So the first thing I'm going to do is, just like we did with our little elephants here, I'm going to splosh some glue, but this time I'm going to be a little bit more careful because I want to make stripes. So I'm going to do a stripe all the way down the front from top to bottom. And I'm going to choose one of my colours. I have got blue and red and yellow here because they are colours that one of my favourite superheroes, Wonder Woman, wears. I think Supergirl wears blue and red and yellow, and also Captain Marvel as well. So good for girl superheroes. So I'm going to choose one of those colours, and I'm going to put a stripe down my plant pot, just like that. Again, I'm going to overlap. So I don't need to be too neat, but I need to be a little bit more careful and try and get my tissue paper to go in a line just like that. So you can see I've got a red stripe, and then I'm going to paint over it with another layer of that glue and that water. That'll smooth all the edges down and give it another layer of strength. It'll also make it a little bit more waterproof because the glue will seal all that water, and it won't be able to absorb anything. Okay, then next to my red stripe, I'm going to make another line of glue, just like this, and this time I'm going to choose a blue. So I'm going to get some blue tissue paper, and again I'm going to do another line right next to the red. Now it doesn't matter if it overlaps a little bit, these don't have to be super neat. Okay, but I'm going to try and do them so the lines aren't perfectly straight, but you can see that you're getting the idea of different coloured stripes. Okay, so there I've got a blue stripe. So again, I'm going to seal all that down by putting another layer of glue all the way on the top. It's going to get quite wet and quite sticky, but don't worry, because when you leave that to dry, the glue will dry clear, so you won't get all that white mess on it, and also it will give you a nice shiny glaze as well, which I quite like the effect of. So there you go, just a little bit extra on there. Don't need to worry about the inside, because we're going to fill the inside in Thursday's session. So it doesn't matter if the inside is messy at all. And then I'm going to go the other way this time. I'm going to go on the other side. I'm going to make a yellow stripe. Now, just for a little bit of variety, I might do a thinner yellow stripe, okay? So I'm going to get some thick sheets that I've ripped up earlier, and I'm going to make it a little bit thinner. All right, so I'm going to vary the widths of my stripes just to make it a little bit more interesting. And I'm going to put some yellow on there. There we go. And I'm going to put another layer of glue on. There we go. And then I might go thick next to that thin yellow stripe. And I think I'm going to go back to blue again. So let's put some blue next to that yellow. And again, try to overlap so you've not got any bare patches of plastic going in between your stripes. So another blue on here. I'm going nice and wide for this one. There you go. And just one more. It's sticking to my fingers now. There you are. And there's a blue stripe to go with my superhero colours. Okay guys, so when I finish the whole thing, I'm not going to do that today because it's going to be a little bit boring, just you sat watching me paint glue onto this pot. So I'm going to leave mine to dry. I'm going to come back on Thursday we're going to have a bit of a longer session on Thursday because we are going to talk about seeds and we're going to talk about plants and what plants require and what seeds require to grow and where to find those seeds in the first place. All right, guys, so have a go at making your pots. So again, anything from your recycling bin, remember, it needs to be waterproof, nothing absorbent, so it needs to be able to hold its shape when we put water inside it. It needs to be quite tall, all right? So its sides need to be higher than its width. That way we can put a nice deep layer of soil in so the roots have got plenty of space to grow when that plant starts to grow. Doesn't matter about the properties of what light does when it hits it. So it can be reflective, it can be translucent, transparent or opaque. It doesn't matter. But it also needs to hold its shape if it gets a little bit warm. So nothing that's going to melt or flop if it's sat on a windowsill or on top of a radiator or something like that at home, because these need a little bit of warmth to be able to germinate. There's a little clue to start with for Thursday's lesson, all right? So have a go, raid your recycling box, decorate it in your superhero colours, maybe put a little logo on or something like that. Keep hold of it, keep it safe. Bring it back to our session on Thursday at 12:15 and we're going to find some seeds around the house and we're going to figure out how to plant them, get them to germinate and start to grow. So take care everybody, and I'm excited to see what you've made on Thursday. If you do make anything, get somebody to take a picture of it, pop it up on my page and we can share them out with everybody else. All right guys, so take care. I will see you very soon. Bye bye.